Welcome to the Lineman Lounge, hosted by Mike and Evo, calling their shots and being outlandish.
Breaking news from the Lineman Lounge. My fantasy football team just took a huge fucking hit. And that also makes it even more likely that the Raiders are going to beat the Ravens on Monday night. Le'Veon Bell is about to be your starter. Latavius Murray is going to go there as well. Jesus, fuck my ass.
Get ready for the thickest podcast in the game. Coming to you from Hangar 6, where sleeves are optional. Strap in. The show starts right now.
¿Cómo están, bitches? This is the Lineman Lounge. I am Mike. This is Evo, and we are back after a week hiatus. Took a nice little vacation with the family, but we are back in studio, and I'm fucking pumped. We got a ton of shit to talk about over the last couple of weeks that we have missed, things that are fucking just happened within the last couple of days. New information coming out this morning. It's been a fucking wild time since the last time we were in here, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. I took some of the time off, this little hiatus from podcasting to go back, kind of work out with my old team a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I'm getting ready for next season for the Bishop Sycamore football team.
Very nice, very nice. How's Bishop Sycamore looking?
We are working on getting better.
Okay.
Better every day.
That's obviously the goal.
One of the normal little things that you say in the offseason. We're working on getting better, but we did actually add ourselves a special coach to our group.
Oh, very nice.
We have a new kicking game coordinator.
Okay.
Urban Meyer, you might have heard of him.
Oh, I have heard of Urban. I've heard he's very good at kicking.
Yep.
So not surprised to see that Urban has landed with Bishop Sycamore in a role that involves kicking.
When you have a history like he does, and he's as good of a coach as he is, someone who's meant to coach in the NFL, if they want to step down a couple levels and coach at Bishop Sycamore, I think it's a great thing for our program.
Well, anytime you can take such a high caliber guy in the NFL, and then he's going to be a natural fit at one of these lower levels. College, may have been his wheelhouse, but obviously he was so good in the NFL, he could coach at any level.
Yeah. Now I don't know what the details were, but I heard that our team had to work out some side hustle with Shad Khan in order to get him to be free in order to help coach for us. So
that's an important thing, is that he's not going to cost you a lot of money, really, in any circumstance, whether he's at Bishop Sycamore or as
I did hear parts of those details. He's not getting paid to coach for us at all. We just have to supply him with lots of honeys at the bars.
There we go.
To get his grind on. So
I mean, that works. I assume Urban is not going to turn that deal down. He is, the finger popping asshole king of the world. It's been fucking wild. This Urban Meyer news is going to get probably worse as things continue to come out. If you don't know, if you haven't heard, Urban Meyer has been fired as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it was very unceremonious.
Yeah, no one saw it coming.
Everybody saw it coming. The only one who probably didn't was Urban, because he thinks that he's so much better of a coach than basically everybody else there. He's the winner, and everybody else is a fucking loser. These are actual words that came out of Urban Meyer's mouth. It does not make any fucking sense. Now, Urban is a winner, but he's a winner at the collegiate level. He's not a winner at the NFL level. You're in the fucking man's league. This is the big boys league. You haven't done shit. I don't know why he's talking to people this way. He is now the kicking coordinator at Bishop Sycamore because, he is apparently really good at kicking people. He fucking kicked his kicker, I think, for missing a kick. And that's a wild maneuver.
Josh Lambo, the former Jags kicker, because he's not with him currently. Lambo's actually a decent kicker, NFL kicker.
He's an NFL kicker. His leg is strong as fuck. And you decided to use your foot and kick him. Urban is lucky.
I don't know how much he was it like a love tap kick or something like that or whatever. Either way, the optics don't sound good.
No.
But yeah, apparently kicked him while he was on the ground stretching during a practice or something like that. And he's like, you got to make this thing fucking start working or something, like, make me more kicks or some shit. I don't remember the exact verbiage. But
Who gives a
Lambo,
shit?
I guess, clapped back at him and said, don't you ever fucking touch me again. And he's like, I'll fucking touch you if I want. I'm the head coach.
Yeah. Bitch, I'll kick you if I want. I'm telling you right now, don't let Josh Lambo kick you. He's going to fucking kick your nuts up into your throat.
Yeah, that's not the guy that you want to trade toes with.
No.
I don't know how the fuck you would say that.
I don't know either, but yeah, you don't want to kick your kicker because if he kicks you back, he's going to fuck you up.
But I think it was like, 2 days ago or something like that the story broke. I was sitting around the table at work, getting ready for the shift to start, and I saw it and I showed it to our buddy Spicy Mike, and I was like, hey, 24 hours and he's done.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't like Shad Khan had already said, we're mulling over, we don't want to do anything too hasty with him. And then I was like, this is like, you're not really coming back from this. It's not like Josh Lambo is the greatest kicker in the league by any means. He's not necessarily a premier player, even at his position.
No,
I would say.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe 5 to 10 years ago. I think Lambo's been in the league for quite a while.
He's been in for a little bit.
I mean, he used to have a monster leg. I remember him kicking like close to 60 yards.
But the point is that, he's a known player, a respected player. Yep. This isn't a practice squad guy where people, not saying that people should blow him off, but it's where, a practice squad guy might be upset because he's not making his $250,000 or something like that for being cut from the practice squad and could just be saying shit to try to hurt Urban. Whereas this guy, whether or not he kicks again in the league, he's probably already made his millions.
Yep.
He's probably set up for life and he's pissed off. And it wasn't like he came out to do necessarily, it doesn't seem like a hit piece. It seems like he was being interviewed by someone else and just kind of dropped the story on their lap. It was like, oh yeah, I had this with Urban because they were asking about Urban in their article or whatever on the he might have been on a news show or something like that. I don't even remember.
Regardless, it doesn't really matter how it came out. I mean, it came out. And all the things that we heard coming out about Urban and this whole situation, none of it's good. Even after the fact, we heard that, okay, so Urban is fired, and there are players who are fucking celebrating, sending messages to their agents. It is a terrible look. Urban looks like a really bad fucking guy in this situation. There's no way around it.
Even Trevor Lawrence, I guess, has come up. I think they had a thing on ESPN of him saying it's nice that this is finally over and our team has clarity and direction.
That is a fucking wild comment from a rookie quarterback who has barely won, talking about his head coach.
Yeah.
That is a big statement. And that tells you how bad that locker room and that organization was inside that building with Urban there. That's not fucking good.
And I guess the Cons are not looking to pay him the rest of his contract.
So I saw that this morning. He's been fired for cause, meaning they are saying that they will not owe him the remainder of his contract.
It's got to be, like shit detrimental to the team. The finger popping and kicking players and
it's been
all this bad PR.
There, so.
Yeah, it makes sense. But it's the head coaching carousel is really going to start kicking off here in these next few weeks.
Absolutely,
so
it is.
This is obviously what happened with my head coach Gruden, Bishop Sycamore. That was the beginning technically, but it was way earlier than you're ever expecting to see any of this stuff happen. So, now that we're down here in the last, 3-4 weeks of the season, this is when you're really going to start seeing some moves.
Yeah, well, and this is a very crucial time for teams that are going to be looking to change their head coach. But once again, I want to say, congratulations to Urban, new kicking game coordinator over there at Bishop Sycamore, joining John Gruden and the rest of the.
Yeah, he said he wanted to bring in Kareem Hunt to be our new kicker, but I was like, dude, he is a little bit too old for us. I know that we like old guys, but he's already got a good career going in Cleveland. And he's actually trying not to kick as much anymore.
Yeah, so we want to definitely avoid Kareem doing any kicks. But, considering what's going on this week for the Cleveland Browns, we might have any asshole off the street back there kicking for us.
That's true. I heard they got flyers up out there.
We are going to get to that.
You got a jersey. Get to the practice field.
Exactly. It's been a fucking rough week if you were a Cleveland Browns fan, but we're going to get there. So obviously we got a couple things that we wanted to talk about. We had to get Urban out. That we've been waiting for this news. I would imagine when Nagy gets the axe, a show is going to start very similar to the way this one did.
Yeah. I mean, I have to hope Nagy gets the fucking axe, but the fact that nothing's happened so far still kind of bothers me with him. But that's the other meme that I saw was Justin Fields at a press conference saying, "So I was at practice and Coach Nagy kicked me in my throwing arm." And I was like, whatever you need to do to get rid of this.
Just fucking anything, right?
Yeah. All right, man. So what else we got going on? Okay, Urbano Myers.
So we got a bowl season that's starting to kick off. We got some kind of interesting matchups that I am excited to see outside of your typical, and this thing's running slow as fuck. Outside of your typical, games that obviously are going to matter, like our, semifinals for our national championships.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm very looking forward to the Utah-Ohio State game. I think Ohio State can roll in that game. But one matchup in particular that I think is going to be very interesting to watch, Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. So Oklahoma State is a team that very easily could have won that Big 12 championship. And Notre Dame is a team right on the fringe that could have got in, depending on how things worked out at the end of the season. If the NCAA decides to move on with an expanded playoff, is Notre Dame going to get into a conference? Are they going to have to get into a conference if they want to get one of those higher seeds? Because the way it's laid out right now is if you are not a conference champion, you cannot be anything higher than, I think, the 6th seed. So there would be the Power 5, get the top 5 seeds based on ranking. And then down from there, you get, I'm guessing, a group of 5 and then 2 at large. So Notre Dame is not going to be in a position to get one of those top seeds, play one of the lesser competition teams. Are they going to have to get into a conference? And if they do, which is it going to be? Now, the ACC makes logical sense because that's where they play basketball. But where they're located, it doesn't make any fucking sense. They're not going to come to the Big Ten. That's not happening. I think with the Big 12 kind of getting shuffled around, adding teams, they're going to need a powerhouse team at the top of that conference to be the bell cow for that conference. It might be the Big 12. This could be a matchup that we continue to see farther on down the line if Notre Dame decides to get into a conference. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I think they should, but I think Big 12 would be a good spot for them.
Yeah, what you're saying absolutely makes sense for them to move over to the Big 12. And to look, college football, now that there's name, image, likeness stuff going on, it's changing the way that college football is kind of going to be set up. The expansion of the playoffs is bound to happen. It's a way for NCAA to make more money, for these schools to make more money. If there's a way to make more money, it's going to happen. We saw it with the NFL. They expanded the season this year to make more money.
Yep.
It's not for player safety. It's not for player health. It's not what the players want. It's a way for the NFL and the owners to make more money. It's going to be the same thing in NCAA. So that's going to expand. You're going to see these teams moving, shuffling, making different moves in order to find their little niche to make more money. And as prestigious as Notre Dame is with their religious background and everything to the school itself,
yep,
at the end of the day, they are going to find a way to make money.
Yeah,
it's just the way it's going to be. So,
well, they're going to have it. They have a new head coach. They are kind of moving into a new realm. I don't know if Notre Dame's necessarily the place to go for name, image, and likeness deals.
Right.
I mean, they have a brand with NBC on TV, but Notre Dame doesn't sell. That's not a place where you make a lot of name, image, likeness deals out in the middle of fucking Indiana, right? South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, there's still potential because they are very historically relevant and everything in college football. People know the Golden Domers. I mean, there's going to be some there. It's just not as popping as South Beach or something like that.
Right.
Or I mean, to kind of branch into one of the games that I'm looking forward to and some name, image, likeness stuff, you got South Carolina State versus Jackson State.
Yes.
head coached by Deion Sanders. They just had a big get this week.
Yeah,
that's
they
a bowl
did.
game that I'm looking forward to watching just because Jackson State. I mean, they're
Not a
11-1,
bowl game. So Jackson State is the FCS. This is
cricket celebration bowl.
The what?
Yeah.
I
had to look it up. Never heard of it. The cricket celebration bowl.
I thought Jackson State was a FCS team, and they were in the playoff for the FCS.
This ESPN's calling it the cricket celebration bowl.
Huh. Okay. That is news to me because I thought It's
being played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
So I understand that, but this is confusing to me because one of the big deals that was made, guys, so there was a huge signing on National Signing Day this week. Jackson State signed the number 1 / could it be number 2? He's
I've
1 and 2 on a couple different
ways.
boards.
Yep.
Recruit, not at his position in the fucking country to Jackson State.
Yep, Travis Hunter. The one of the best recruits in high school coming out.
Yes.
Was supposed to go into FSU.
Was supposed to go to Florida State, the school where Prime went. He is a cornerback, and now he's going to Jackson State to play for arguably the greatest corner of all time. This is a massive deal for college football in general. Jackson State is not a Division I school. They are a 1 AA school I'm almost 100% sure. I had to actually look this up the other day because it was crazy. And people on Twitter are going absolutely fucking apeshit saying this is horrible for this kid. He's going to a small program. How is he going to get seen? This is awesome for college football because there's good football all over the fucking country. It's not just at the big name schools. Jackson State has one of the coolest fucking high profile coaches in the country and fucking Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. And now this corner is going to go there and get to learn from one of the best of all time. This is fucking awesome. And then there's some name image likeness things that come in, which make people even more pissed off about this.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this earlier in the week when this happened.
Yeah.
I saw it happen, you saw it happening, and then we started texting about it. And I think it's awesome. So it's super common. All these good recruits end up going to the big name schools. That's just the normal thing that you're looking to see it. We like parity. I like parity in the NFL. I like parity in college football. Seeing someone that's a big name, big time recruit, which doesn't necessarily mean he's going to turn out to be anything, but seeing them go to a school that you're not expecting, that makes me more excited for this school, for this program. I want to watch it. Like having Prime there already, you're passively paying attention. Obviously, they had a real good year there in the SWAC. The so the SWAC Southwestern Athletic Conference.
So they are FCS. This is a playoff game, I believe, to continue to move on because we had North Dakota State play last night. I believe South Dakota State plays today as well. So FCS has they actually have like a legit playoff, 16-team playoff instead of the bullshit one that we have up in the FBS. So yeah, they're still working. They're working towards the fucking national championship right now. And they could get it. They just got a big-time fucking recruit. Prime is doing great. This is going to change the way college football and recruiting works on all across the country at all fucking levels.
Yeah, and see, I should have thought that this was going to happen. I guess it didn't even come into my mind that people would be upset about this.
Yeah, so I didn't think they would be either. I thought people thought it would be a cool story.
Just with today's society and that people like to get pissed off about everything,
there's
a lot of flack going towards this kid, towards
Prime, towards this kid, towards the school, and towards our boys over at Barstool.
Yeah.
They are not fucking happy with Barstool.
And you know what? They can all suck our dicks from the back because who cares?
Yeah.
This is this kid's choice. If he doesn't ever play professional football or anything like that, he just goes there because he wants to go there for school and play some football.
Yeah.
That's his choice.
Yes. Jackson State's a good school. It's an HBCU, historically black college or university. So there's a lot of like old school football players that, there's a history there. This is where Jerry Rice went to school.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Payton came out of fucking Jackson State. There's good football that has happened at this university. This kid could be that next big name to come out of Jackson State. Who cares where he goes or how he got there? Like name, image, and likeness. Everybody was pushing for these kids to get paid, right? Now these kids are getting paid and they have a way to make money and they don't pick one of these big schools. Now there's a problem with it? No, get the fuck out of here. That's bullshit. I don't want to hear that. You want them to get paid. You want them to have opportunity to get paid off their name, image, and likeness. This is the kind of thing that's going to happen. We talked about this way early on in the season. Like, how is name, image, and likeness going to affect recruiting? This is the first, I guess the first pin drop was Quinn Ewers, leaving high school a whole fucking year early.
Mm-hmm.
This is the fucking atomic bomb of what can happen with name, image, and likeness. Kids are going to go to places that you would not expect them to go because they can make more fucking money, and good for them. Get your goddamn bag. You can go to school, get an education for free. You can play pretty high-level fucking football at the FCS level. You're going to learn from one of the greatest of all time at the position that you play. This is a no-brainer to me. This makes total fucking sense why you do this if I'm this kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're seeing, like I said, a lot of people getting pissed off on Twitter and stuff like that. And you know what? I don't really. Those are the babies whose diapers are wet right now because they're not getting their big name guy at one of these big name schools.
Well, FCS,
who gives a fuck?
Florida State. I mean, it's a big name school, but
yeah, who
Jackson
gives a
State
fuck?
might be able to beat fucking Florida State right now.
The way that they played this year, absolutely. But props to this kid. It takes a lot of balls to do that. That says a little bit to me about. I mean, obviously he's getting paid big money and getting paid big money to go there.
1.5, right?
I believe that's what Barstool gave him on the NIL deal.
Yeah.
But it takes balls to not go to one of those big name schools because that is hedging your future a little bit.
So it does. You're going to play against lesser competition, and the scouts are going to give you a little bit of a knock on that.
Potentially, but we might see that landscape change. You saw like Hugh Douglas, former pro defensive lineman, come out and say, hey, I went to a smaller school. The recruits will find you if you got talent.
Yeah.
All right. You see guys like Adam Thielen from my Vikings who played at my former college, Minnesota State Mankato, Division I AA. Obviously, he didn't get drafted, and that's a shame, but he was able to find his way onto an NFL roster.
If you have the talent, the fucking NFL will find you. It reminds me of Andrew Hawkins, former Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengal, and then had a very short stint, like basically training camp with the Patriots. He went to college, did not get drafted. Went up to Canada, kind of did his little thing there. Nothing really great happened. Had multiple workouts, had a little workout with the Rams, didn't get picked up. Then you remember that fucking show? I believe it was Michael Irvin's show, the wide receiver, where they were trying to find the next Dallas Cowboys wide receiver.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
God, I cannot remember the name.
I'm used to watching the next Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show.
Right. So they were trying to find the next receiver. Andrew Hawkins was very clearly the best receiver on the show. Didn't win because he's 5'8", fucking 160 pounds.
Right.
And then goes on, finally gets signed with the Bengals, plays there for 4 years, goes on, has a little bit of time with the Browns, and was one of the most productive slot receivers in the league. If you have the skill, if you have the talent, they will find you as long as you keep pushing, keep going. If you don't, I mean, there are guys that probably still have some skill that give up because they get disheartened, but the NFL wants the best fucking players. In almost every situation, they're going to take the best player regardless of draft position, where you are. And we get guys that come into the league completely undrafted, right? Undrafted free agents who make Pro Bowls. A couple guys have made the fucking Hall of Fame being undrafted.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you're saying, if you got talent, teams are going to find you. Now, you see players. The big one to me, like obviously this is a very big signing, but once you start getting a high caliber quarterback recruit to go somewhere else, that's going to be, and I don't know when that's going to happen or if we're going to see it in the next year or two. But I mean, you still have quarterbacks who go to smaller schools, they make a name for themselves, and then they end up getting drafted high. Like Garoppolo went to Eastern Illinois, not necessarily a huge program known for putting out NFL talent. It has, but you have guys like that who are seen, their talent is seen, and then they are making their way into the NFL. Garoppolo was what, a second round pick?
Second round.
Yeah. So they're going to see if you've got talent.
Yeah.
If you are playing that Division I, Division II, that high level collegiate football, you're going to get seen by scouts. and you're going to find your way to the NFL if you got that talent.
Yeah, and by all accounts, this kid is very talented. I would expect his skills. I mean, he's got all the physical traits from everything I saw on Rivals, based on the things that they put out on there. Now, I don't know how accurate Rivals is. There's obviously some room to things to be moved, but he's going to learn from Prime. Yeah. I cannot think of a better guy to learn from in today's NFL than this guy.
What up, Arch Manning? Go to a small school. Go to a smaller school.
Yeah,
that'd be baller.
That would be so badass.
That would fucking really twist some people's panties up.
Oh yeah. All right. So great. We got a couple. What is this?
All
right. So don't need that one. And we got Goose. If he has talent, Howie Roseman won't find him.
Yeah, or fond him.
Yeah, I agree. Howie Roseman won't find him. But you never know. I mean, I don't expect anything good to happen there from Howie Roseman doing, what he should, finding talent. But
they're going to get their quarterback talent elsewhere. They're probably going to trade like all 3 or 4 of their first-round picks that they have now to go out and get something like a Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, hey, you're giving up Kirk for 2, right?
I'd do that and a fucking little bit of sloppy toppy for all those first round picks. I tell you what.
Yeah.
But yeah. So another name that you brought up there, Quinn Ewers.
Yep.
He did commit
to Texas.
Yep.
So somebody posted. She is a big part of Brown's Twitter. Her name is Gab Gowdy. She is also does stuff with FanDuel. She posted, okay, so where's Quinn Ewers going to go? And I had said this a couple weeks ago, like he's going to Texas.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He's absolutely going to Texas. He thought about going to Texas before. I believe he was committed at one point.
He had previously committed, I believe, before.
And then not only that, but the most Texas thing that could possibly happen to Texas is that Quinn Ewers decides to go there and pushes Arch Manning to a different fucking school, and Arch Manning decides not to go there. Now, we have no idea where Arch is going to go, but I mean, he could go there and compete. I think it would be a little out of the normal thing that we have seen recently in the last couple of years, where kids are going to go and compete against other high-level talents. But if there is a kid that would do that, Arch would be that guy. He's going to say, fuck, I don't give a fuck how good he is. I'm going to go there and I'm going to try to win that job. But I kind of expected Quinn to go there. He was previously committed, and Texas has now basically fucked themselves out of getting Arch Manning, I think. I don't think he's going to go there. He's going to now stay over in the SEC.
I would agree. That Ewers, even though he didn't really play, he has collegiate level experience now. So that is going to put him a little bit above Arch, even if he were to go there. Arch is going to want to play right away. He's not going to want to go to a program where he's going to have to sit.
He's there for 3 years max.
Yeah.
Whether that's a redshirt year and comes out as a true or as a redshirt sophomore, or he comes out as a true junior, he's only going to college for 3 years.
Yeah, and so that's another prediction that we got correct here on the show. Now it's one that wasn't a very hard prediction, but it's still another one of the predictions that we technically got right for ourselves there. Just wanted to make note of that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what else. We got some fights going on tonight.
We do. We have some UFC and we have some boxing.
I wasn't even aware of the boxing until you told me before starting the show here.
Yeah, so the boxing match, we have another Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul matchup, and it's been really terribly marketed. Now, Tyron Woodley is a late fill-in for Tommy Fury, who backed out, broke a rib, has a lung infection. So Tyron's going to hop back in there, but I don't want to get into that just yet. I would rather talk about the UFC before I go down the rabbit hole that is Jake Paul and boxing.
All righty. So after last weekend's banger, what we got going on tonight here in the UFC?
All right, so there is it's a little fight night. So there's some interesting matchups. I really like the co-main event, and then I want to see Derek Lewis fight again, who's in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the early fights, I like Rafael Assunção. I don't know who Ricky Simon is, so that doesn't do a lot for me. I really like Cub Swanson, but a lot of these guys they're kind of journeymen. They have not had a ton of success right away, like we see those champions get. They'll go into a fight with 1-2 losses. Most people on this card have somewhere between 5 and 12 losses, right? But this Stephen Thompson and Bilal Muhammad fight, Stephen Thompson is a great kickboxer. Bilal Muhammad is a guy who likes to take it to the ground. Bilal's one of those guys who's trying to build his rank up a little higher. At one point, they were kind of pumping him up like he could be that next title contender. I want to see how he deals with Stephen Thompson. And then Derek Lewis is fighting, and I don't know who this is. Chris Daukaus?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he's supposed to be an up-and-comer. Someone to watch for. I believe he might be undefeated. I'm not positive.
He is 12-3.
12-3. All right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy's style.
Yeah, me either.
But we didn't know that about Derek Lewis's last fight.
Yeah, Cyril Gane.
Yeah, and then obviously saw how that turned out.
Yeah, so that's what I'm excited to see is, can Derek Lewis bounce back? Can he go out and prove he is one of those top contenders? Now, he's not a champion, but you can have a really good career in the UFC and never become a champion. It's like being a backup in the NFL. Derek Lewis is going to continually stay somewhere in that probably top 8 range in that heavyweight division because he has absolute fucking knockout power. I want to see if Derek Lewis can still do it. I want to see if he can go in there, fight a smart fight, and then find his range and knock this guy out. There's a bet on FanDuel right now for a Derek Lewis knockout in the first round. Let me pull up the odds on that real quick because I absolutely did bet it. Plus 400, Derek Lewis to win in first round versus Chris Daukaus. So you can get a nice little chunk of change if you think Derek Lewis is the guy that he used to be and come in and knock this dude out.
I mean, we've seen it plenty of times with Derek Lewis. He has that one-punch knockout power. So, and that's kind of his game. His balls are hot, and he's going to try to go out there and lay the lumber. Didn't work out for him versus Cyril Gane, and we kind of were on him fighting Cyril Gane because we didn't know who Gane was, but we'll see what Chris Daukaus has to bring to the table here.
All right, and then so let's get into this Jake Paul Tyron Woodley 2 fight, and it was actually I kind of want to watch this just because I didn't get to watch it last time. It happened during the week, which fucking pissed me off, and I was working nights at the time. This fight has some interesting things. I'm trying to find the clause here. Here it is. So there is a knockout clause this time for Tyron Woodley. If he can knock out Jake Paul, he gets an extra $500,000 on top of. So Jake Paul literally tossed that into the contract because of all the rumors that there was a $500,000 no knockout policy in the last fight. These guys have actually been kind of cordial. I've seen a couple things. Jake Paul bought Tyron Woodley a goddamn Rolex. Gave him a fucking Rolex. Now, I think it was a little bit of a one-upsman thing, saying it's time for you to get knocked out, but I think that's what he went on to say. But I'm kind of excited. Jake is a better boxer than I thought. Tyron knows exactly what he should do in this fight now. He's fought him once. He's continued to train. And I think Tyron is going to knock him out.
Well, so I did watch this last time. And like I said, I'm having to kind of like wrap my brain around this fight happening because I wasn't even aware it was happening. Like you said, I don't think it was marketed very well. Obviously, it was a late addition. But I didn't know Paul was fighting soon anyways. I thought we still had a little bit of time before any fight with him was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So watching that fight last time, Woodley actually had him multiple times. And it seemed like he let off the gas when he should have knocked him out.
We alluded to the fact that maybe he wasn't allowed to knock him out on this show.
Yeah.
And then there were all the rumors. And I mean, fight fans watched it and were like, why didn't he take his fucking head off right here?
Yeah, there was times when Paul was on his heels. He looked like he was done. And then you just didn't see him finish. Like if you're making sweet, sweet love to your woman, and you get to that point where you're about to fucking bust.
Yeah.
You don't just stop.
Tyron Woodley had his chance at the vinegar strokes.
Yeah.
And didn't take it.
Yeah, and so I was surprised it was a letdown watching that fight. And then after that point, I was like, well, I feel like now Paul's going to win this fight because it seems like Woodley didn't want to finish him there.
In a split decision.
That was just the overall feeling that I got after that round where Woodley had him. Now,
which also could have been scored a knockdown because he went into the ropes and they kept him up, which the judges did not score a knockdown either.
Yeah.
So
with this, all these, $500,000 for a knockout and blah, 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 Woodley having to get a tattoo, I believe, on his hand.
Yeah, he's got "fuck Jake" or "I love Jake Paul" on his middle finger, which looks like he could turn into "fuck Jake Paul."
Yeah. All this stuff, I feel like Woodley's going to want to redeem himself this time. And
does that worry you? If you're in Woodley's camp, are you worried that now he's going for that knockout? That he's not going to fight a smart fight?
No, not really. Because I feel like even though Paul did do well against Woodley before, I think Woodley is just going to come in with a little bit more passion, that he's a professional fighter that will be able to handle what Paul throws against him. And if he's not having to, it's a different headspace when you're going into the ring to not kill a guy.
Yeah.
It's like if you're going in, like UFC fighters talk about this all the time. When they go into the octagon, their thought is, I'm going to beat the living hell out of this guy, possibly to the point that he dies. Like if I die, I die.
Yeah, they go in there knowing that they could die.
Like,
they're going in there willing to sacrifice their lives.
If you're going in there thinking like there's not a point where I'm going to take this guy out completely and knock him out. You have to be in a different mental headspace. And I feel like if he goes in there with that killer mentality now, because he's able to knock him out, if that's actually a thing and all this, I feel like it'll change things up. That he will be in more of the normal headspace for a fight that he's used to.
Yeah, I agree.
I see what you're saying, that he could be fighting.
So it worries me a little bit just because one of the big things about the last fight was Tyron Woodley made more money in that fight than he made his entire UFC career. And now with a knockout here, he's going to do it again. So that is in the back of my mind a little leery that he is going to go for the knockout rather than fight this one, because he could wear him down.
Yeah.
He can wear Jake down for sure.
I think that the narrative would work out for him to win this one too, because then
you sell a third. Then you sell a third and they're
Yeah.
making more money.
Yeah.
I mean, boxing is a sport that is literally, it's prize fighting. That's one of the other names for it. They are there to make a fuck ton of money. Now, obviously people want to become champions. Neither one of these guys are going to become a boxing champion. That's not their aspiration. Their aspiration is to fight and make a fuck ton of money doing it, and they're absolutely doing that in droves right now.
Mm-hmm.
So another interesting fight on this card that I'm kind of excited for. Deron Williams, former basketball player, fighting Frank Gore.
I was more aware of this. I was more aware of this going down. I actually asked Joe Rockstar if he was going to be watching the fight, watching his old Frank Gore from his 49ers days fighting. And he said he absolutely was not going to.
No?
Yeah.
I
am interested to watch that one just because it's one of those things you don't know what's going to happen, but like
Frank
you never
Gore
want to count.
Is a bad man.
You never want to count Frank Gore out.
No, he's the goddamn Terminator. He just keeps going. He does not stop. He is, I guarantee, if a team called up Frank Gore right now, he could do this fight and be ready to play on potentially Tuesday.
He said as much. He actually came out, I believe, this week and listed off a whole bunch of teams. He's like, hey, any one of these playoff teams need a running back? I'm ready to go. Give me a call in a week.
Yeah, and he will be ready. That's what Frank Gore does. It kind of reminds me of Adrian Peterson, who is ready at a moment's notice. They're always in shape. They always stay in shape because they're not ready to be done with football, I don't think. Now, Frank, I don't think he did not officially retire. He's just not signed to a team.
Correct.
So that's going to be cool. Now, Frank Gore is he's a thick guy, but I don't know if he's that tall.
No.
Deron Williams played in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be, 6'4", 6'5"? I don't know how tall Deron is. He's a point guard, so he's probably not the tallest guy. But the reach advantage there could be interesting to see. If Frank gets on the inside, I could see some fucking Tyson hooks. And, oh, man. That's going to be a cool thing to watch.
6'3". Deron Williams 6'3", and there absolutely will be a reach advantage. Now, if Frank Gore is able to close the distance and be up in there close with them. Look, I think that pound for pound, my money would be on Frank Gore, even with the height advantage going to Demaryius.
I am never betting against
just
Frank
because
Gore.
I don't see basketball players as being good fighters personally. I don't. It doesn't seem like their physical makeup and characteristics fit with it.
Okay.
Whereas you have Frank Gore, who's nothing but thick muscle, explosive power and stuff like that, quick, short speed. Like I feel like that caters itself so much better towards fighting than NBA physicality. And obviously Deron Williams has been training. He's probably training for this and is going to be better than your average Joe Schmo coming off the street to fight. But I don't know, man. I just see Frank Gore being able to rock him.
I see it as well. And Goose, we know you can't type. Another comment there from Goose.
Can't talk, definitely can't type.
No, definitely can't type. So we're going to toss this up there real quick. All right, so if you guys want to call in to the Lineman Lounge hotline, it's 520-338-9771. If you guys want to call in, talk about any of those fights, please feel free to do so. I'm excited. I think it's going to be cool. I think Tyron can get him this time, which would make sense. Still a third fight. But did we have any other storylines that we wanted to talk about in terms of fights or college football? Because I did want to talk a little bit about the NBA. We have not talked a lot about the NBA recently, but let's
just get kicked into that stuff. I don't know if there's anything else that we got to go over. We might think of something. Who knows?
All right, so NBA season's still going on. A lot of surprise teams kind of, doing things that people did not expect. Nets in the lead. I think a lot of people did expect that. Kyrie Irving is going to make a comeback to the Nets as a part-time player. Nobody still knows his vaccination status. He has not said if I am vaccinated or if I am not vaccinated. He's not given up that information. So getting him back will be interesting. How is he going to fit into that team being a part-time player? I mean, Kyrie's always been kind of aloof. That's who he is. Will he fold back into that team? James Harden's been playing okay. Kevin Durant's been playing out of his mind. Skip Bayless actually said that he was the best player in the world, and Kevin Durant came back and said, "I don't fucking like you, Skip Bayless." It was a wild situation. Skip was taking shots at LeBron, saying that KD is better. KD's like, "I don't fuck you." But this is not the first time that we've ever seen a NBA player fabricate a controversy to pump himself up. That's classic Jordan. Anybody who watched The Last Dance knows Jordan manufactured things in his fucking head to get himself hyped up. Maybe KD's doing the same thing here.
It's possible. But as far as Kyrie coming back, being a part-time player, look, we don't want to get super political on the pod or whatever. I don't really think the vaccination status should matter. I think he should be able to play, and if you're doing correct testing and stuff like that, then whatever, you're good to go.
Now, he won't be able to go up to Toronto and play the Raptors.
Yep.
Canada will not let you in. So he's definitely not going up there. Some cities may not let him go. I don't know about LA. I don't think they'll let him in. But when he gets back in the lineup, he could help this team, and they could continue to grow that lead over in the Eastern Conference. Sticking out in the Eastern Conference, the Bulls have been fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They have surprised me. They are very good. That team is very well constructed. Bucks are a little down right now. And the number 4 team over in the East has surprised a ton of fucking people. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I was not expecting this level of play from them. They are a young team, and they have so many big guys. And that's not the way we see the NBA played anymore. They have like 4 guys who are a walking double-double out there, and they're making it work. They lost their starting point guard, and they're just so good right now. They're exciting to watch. I am a Cavs fan. Now, when I was growing up, my dad is from Chicago. I grew up a Bulls fan, so I watched Jordan. And then when LeBron got to the Cavs is when I really started, okay, all Cleveland, let's go. And having the Cavs be good is super exciting. Cleveland is very lucky to have the teams that they do have. I mean, one of the smaller markets in the country, and they, have 3 fucking professional teams in the city. Cavs are doing good. Browns have a chance to, get better and possibly make the playoffs. And then we have a new team, same as the old team, in the Guardians. So it's very exciting time to be a Cleveland sports fan. And when the Cavs are good, the city is kind of a buzz. Browns Twitter has been blowing up with Cavs stuff because they're so exciting to watch. Really, really cool stuff going on out there. Out in the Western Conference, the Warriors are back. Steph Curry is the fucking man. He's the greatest shooter of all time, and now he has basically cemented that, set the 3-point record, broke Ray Allen's record. Ray Allen was there. They got to have a cool little moment, and watching a professional athlete have one of those moments where he's like a kid again and be so excited is amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty cool watching Steph, break that record. It made me a little bit sad because, they show things like where he was drafted and stuff like that, and then you see all the teams that passed on him and things like that. My Timberwolves passed on him twice. So I was a little sad to see there, but congrats to him, man. That's an amazing record. Obviously, like you said, pretty much cemented himself as like one of the best shooters ever.
I mean, he has the most 3-pointers ever made. He has the highest percentage of free throws ever made at over 90%. Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. And I don't know if anybody can. Now, I know some people will say that Reggie Miller, because he was so clutch in those big moments. Steph he does it at such a high volume. And his career is not even close to being done. Steph is still very much an active point guard on that team. He's got another 5 years at least. At some point, he's going to be like Ray Allen, where he's parking his ass in the corner, waiting for somebody to pass him the ball to drop a 3. Mm-hmm. He still has that part of his career to go. He's going to hit over 3,000 fucking 3-pointers by all said and done.
Absolutely. That's I don't see him being done anytime soon unless he decides that he wants to be. But I mean, it doesn't seem like he's slowing down necessarily. It's not like where he's at like the twilight of his career by any means. He's still I feel like he's just in the middle of it. We still got plenty of time left. You could see him continuing to extend out his career like a Ray Allen, like a Rondo, something like that, where they're going to go around and they're going to
Mike Miller. Well, white guy from played with the Heat when they were having their run. Couldn't barely get up and down the goddamn court. But when he got there, he just parked his ass behind the 3-point line and waited for somebody to pass him the ball.
Yeah, so he's definitely I think going over 3,000 is absolutely going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he can hit that fucking next year, depending on how his year goes. And they're going to get better because Klay Thompson's going to come back at some point this year. Suns still very good. I was worried they're going to have a drop-off. They are not. They're still playing fantastic. And elsewhere out in the West, the Lakers are not very fucking good.
Yeah, so Lakers are 16-14 right now. Yeah. Not that great. And kind of goes my Timberwolves, they're 14-15. They're not that far behind. They're right now sitting in ninth. They actually they have shown to be pretty good in some of these games against big teams. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see that young core kind of coming together. So I'm excited to watch what happens there. I'm passively paying attention because I'm not a big basketball fan.
Right.
I don't watch basketball religiously or anything like that, but I like to pay attention to my Minnesota sports teams.
Right.
And there's been a lot more hype and excitement around the team than there has been in a long time because we are building kind of a nice little young core there. So that's exciting for me to watch.
Yeah. And I have been following basketball because I bet a lot of basketball. I've had quite a bit of success betting basketball. I mean, I hit a $2,500 bet, I guess about a month ago now on betting basketball. I hit another one a couple nights ago for a couple $100. So I like watching basketball. Now, regular season basketball can be kind of boring. When we get to the playoffs, one of the best playoff atmospheres is the NBA playoffs. Once you get past the first round is basically a foregone conclusion who's winning those series, but a lot of cool shit happening in the NBA. And yeah, I'm fucking pumped about the Cavs. Yeah. I was down on the Cavs. I thought they were not going to be very good. Now I'm basically betting the Cavs every goddamn night.
Hey, Gotta bet for your team, baby.
That's right.
Gotta bet for that home team.
Hey, especially if they're winning me money.
And for me, who I'm going to start betting on a little bit more is my Minnesota Wild. They're basically number one in the NHL right now. They have dropped a couple lately, but they're number one in the Western Conference. 29 games played with 19 wins and only 8 losses. Like I said, they dropped a couple recently, so they've gotten a little bit closer as far as record to some other teams, but they've looked fantastic this year. So I'm really looking forward to watching a little bit more Wild hockey. I know that we don't talk a ton of hockey on here.
We don't, but I've actually been paying a little bit of attention to some hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I've been betting on some hockey games. The team that I really like, who I think can actually make some waves and give New York a fucking team to root for, is the Rangers, man. They are very fucking good.
Yep, they're having a good year as well. 19-7 right now with 4 overtime losses. Rangers are looking very good. Caps are good, but they're always good.
They're always good. I mean,
yep.
OV is a fucking stud.
Yep. And then those Golden Knights are, since coming into the NHL, are still trucking as one of the better teams out there.
And a team that I thought maybe would see not as much success, but similar kind of success would be the Kraken. They're awful. They are not having the same kind of luck that the Vegas Knights did when they joined the league. Kraken are terrible down towards the bottom of the league.
Yeah, they're 10-16 right now. They're last in the Pacific.
I think the only team worse than them is the Coyotes. No, Canadians and the Islanders are also worse based on records here. But yeah, I want the Kraken to be good.
Canadians,
I really want the Kraken to be good. I love their team name. I'm glad Seattle got another professional sports team. I'm starting to get into hockey a little bit more, and I like it, man.
Yeah, look, like we've said it before, hockey is really fun to watch. It's one of those things where if you go and just watch one of those lower affiliate teams or whatever, it is still a lot of fun to watch. Like it is a good sport to go kind of get branched into, go watch a live sporting event, especially at those lower level ones. You can get real cheap tickets and take the family there and have a really good time. And I guess one other sport thing that I want to talk about, maybe before we kick into our bread and butter here with the NFL, is Tiger's back.
Tiger is back, and Charlie is going to be a little stud too.
Oh yeah, I was watching highlights of him and his dad playing in the PNC Pro-Am, and I'm like, God damn, this little kid could whoop my ass playing golf.
He would embarrass me on the fucking course, man.
Yep, and he's picking up all of Dad's mannerisms and stuff like that, where he's very just kind of, no emotions and stuff like that, just
very nonchalant,
expecting the balls to drop. Just a little finger things in here and there, and just acting like, the ball is meant to go where it's going. It's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I did that on purpose, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see Tiger back out on the course. I was worried that he would never play again.
It's like 10 months after fucking his leg up completely.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a compression sleeve to deal with, I think, some nerve damage that he had in the leg from the compound fracture.
Yeah, Tiger's swing looked good. His short game looked amazing. I mean, short game has always been real good.
He's the best iron player of all time. He's the best iron player of all time. He's just got to be able to figure out how to drive the ball into the fucking short grass.
Yeah, and I think that if he just goes with I'm not going to try to. That was one of his things. Driving the ball he was a long driver early on in his career, and obviously that's messed up his back and things like that. If he plays a more passive game with the drive, I think that he's got a chance to be competitive still. Yeah. I mean, you never want to count Tiger out.
He'll win one more. He's going to win one more. I don't know. It probably won't be a major, but he's going to win another tournament. Cement that, number one most wins all time on the PGA Tour. I think that will happen. And that's another guy I'm never betting against. I'm not betting against Tiger ever.
Absolutely.
He's just a specimen of a fucking athlete. And I know we're talking about golf, and we got some people who are out there who are non-golf fans. Golfers are fucking athletes. That shit is not easy. Like, when you talk about how good professional golfers are from the step below, that's probably the biggest gap in all of professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
They're so much better than everybody else at their sport.
And with golfers, some of the big up and coming or bigger name golfers right now, those guys are actually doing a lot more physical training. They're getting their bodies in shape. It's not like the old man with the little pot belly thing anymore. These guys are actually in significant physical training regimens. You look at Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh God,
that guy
drinking 17 protein shakes a day.
I saw before the match versus him and Brooks Koepka. He had posted a picture of him like in his hotel room, which looked like it was a fucking palace. That all of our lady fans should go check out this picture because it was him just in a towel. And look, I had a wet spot in my seat after seeing that picture. The dude looks like he's fat ripped when he's wearing clothes, but without clothes, god damn, is he a fucking like 3% body fat fucking stack
specimen.
Jesus, he lost that match. But
well, Brooks is a better golfer.
Yeah. But yeah, these guys are doing serious physical training to become as good as they can at this sport. So they're absolutely 100% athletes now. Then it's getting more into them being supreme physical specimen athletes as well.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go out. I'm gonna play some golf tomorrow. I got an invite from some of the guys at work. Got a couple guys I've never played golf with before. So Grant, Harris. I'm really hoping to go out there and be like, okay, thank God I'm better than you guys. Because they're new to the game. I'm old to the game. I'm still not very good at it, but I just really want to go out there and get a dub tomorrow. Yeah.
I think you got a good chance.
Yeah.
All right, man. You ready to kick off into some of our favorite sport here?
Absolutely. I am ready for the NFL. It's been fucking wild. So we have game today. We had two games. We had the the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Washington Sentinels, quarterbacked by what the fuck is his name? Shane Falco, coached by fucking Jimmy McGlinty.
Oh, Gene Hackman?
Yeah, Gene Hackman.
Yep.
Oh, wait, hold on. Nope. That's not right. They were going to take on the Cleveland fucking Browns, who have no players available because of COVID. Thankfully, the NFL has pushed that game back, much to the chagrin of several teams in the NFL. So we have just the one game today now, and it's going to be a fucking good game. Got the Patriots taking on the Colts at here in the Mountain Time, 6:20. East Coast, you're going to be looking at 8:20. I'm very excited for this game. I think the Patriots can go in and get a win, but I'm interested to hear your take on how you think this game is going to go. And then we'll kind of start getting into some lines and give the people some what we think is going to happen with the bets.
Yeah, so I was talking a little bit last night with our boy Kimmel, commonly calls in, writes into the show and stuff like that. He's a big Colts fan. So we're talking about the game. He's real excited for this one too. Look, this is two teams that we're expecting to see in the playoffs. I said it, a little while back that, the Colts are on a run right now. I think that they absolutely have to be looked at as a very good playoff team. The way that Jonathan Taylor is playing, and I hate to say it, but the way that Wentz has been playing, I mean, Wentz doesn't inspire confidence in me at all watching him play, but Kimmel brought up a good point. He's one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league, and it's because the Colts have just a fantastic offensive line, and that plays a big role in why he isn't in 5 or 6 pieces on the ground right now like he normally is. The Colts are a damn good team. Patriots are becoming what we expect the Patriots to be year in and year out as the season goes along. They are also just becoming a powerhouse and someone that we're expecting to see go deep into the playoffs. So this game, this is a playoff game that we're seeing tonight.
It is a playoff game. What's up? $20 is $20. Hey, thanks for tuning in, big guy. We love you. And then you got another comment down here. Tiger, whoop, whoop. Yes, we love Tiger here as well. And we have another one. It's too early. Guys, we had to do this early. We got a ugly Christmas sweater party here at the house. We got to get shit ready here at Hangar 6 to host all these people. They're going to be here
so
tonight.
Much stuff going on today.
I was like, how the fuck am I going to make today work? I got to do a podcast. I got to watch the fucking the Cleveland Browns take on the Raiders. That thankfully got moved. And then we have this party. So we have a very, very busy day. I know it is early. It's earlier than we typically do this, but hey, you know what?
We want to get this content out to everybody so that way you can start your Saturday off off with us, or listen to it throughout the day while you're getting ready to have your fun for the weekend.
Absolutely. All right, so let me get that banner up here on these lines, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the line on this game, Patriots plus 2.5. I think this is a score that the Patriots can cover. They can lose this game by maybe a point. I think that the Patriots could win this game. That Bill Belichick-led defense is so fucking good right now. Matt Judon has been one of the best free agent signings in all of the NFL. I mean, he's in the conversation. He's a little farther down the list for that Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, we got 4 guys away at the top. Matthew Judon would probably be number 5 on that list, but he's getting consideration. The Colts offensive line is very, very fucking good, though. And the way they can run the ball allows for play action passing, allows Wentz to be protected, and they can move the ball down the field. They have been so good on offense, and I did not see it coming. I thought Wentz would struggle. He did early in the season, but they have figured it out. That team is built off the legs of fucking Jonathan Taylor. He is so goddamn good. He is quickly putting his name in the running for the best back in the league. I have the Patriots with the points because it's Bill Belichick, it's the Patriots, and you're giving me points.
I'm taking Patriots plus 2.5, but this is way closer to a toss-up game for me. So
this could be a pick 'em in my opinion.
If the Patriots are able to contain Jonathan Taylor, that's when things gets a little bit scary. All the weight is on Wentz's shoulders, and I don't know how he's going to do. If the Colts are able to run the ball, then that allows Wentz to pass it around a little bit better. What do we got here?
Facebook user, I wish that your name was attached to this. Your morning wood has not even softened yet. Well, good morning. Take care of that. Do what you got to do. And enjoy.
Priapism is a serious thing.
Yeah, and enjoy this amazing content that you're getting from the thickest podcast in sports.
Yep. But yeah, if the Patriots are able to contain Jonathan Taylor, then that's when it gets scary for the Colts, because you're putting all of the onus on Carson Wentz and being able to pass and make this happen. Also, I think we're going to see a little bit more than 19 yards and 3 total completed passes from Mac Jones today. So when the Patriots are able to kind of open their offense up a little bit more, that's going to make them a little bit more dangerous. Obviously, they're still able to take it to the Bills in their last game. I have this as being a very, very close game down to the wire, that it could go either way. But if the Patriots are getting points here, that's why I would take the Patriots plus that 2.5 right now.
This comes down to a 2-point conversion or a missed extra point, in my opinion. So that's why I'm taking the Patriots with the points, because I think this is a 1-point game.
Yeah, and I expect both of these teams to be not necessarily going for it on every single 4th down and taking their field goals and stuff when they can, unlike the Chargers, who played on Thursday night versus the Chiefs.
If you're a Chargers fan right now, you have got to be fucking feared. That's a game you should have won.
Yeah, that's Chargers Chiefs played Thursday night. The Chiefs squeaked it out 134-28 in overtime because Travis Kelce is a fucking monster.
He is so goddamn good. And you shouldn't be that fast and that agile, that goddamn big.
Yeah. But the real storyline of the game was the Chargers going for it on so many 4th downs and not taking the points from field goals, because this game wouldn't have gone to overtime, I don't believe, if they had kicked some of those field goals.
Yeah, they left 9 points on the board. That's a win. I mean, you walk out of there with a win in your home stadium. You put your team in position to really solidify their chances at a playoff spot, and they don't do it. The Chiefs come out, they get a win, and they get a cover because they walked it off. 6 points in overtime.
Yep. Now, look, I have liked that teams are being more aggressive on 4th downs and stuff like that. I think that's a good morale booster for your team on the sideline when it's like, no, we're going for this, on 4th.
Unless you're the kicker, more points.
That's Dustin Hopkins filed for unemployment at halftime. He didn't think there was any need for him to be doing anything there. I understand going for it on 4th down, but you don't do it every single time. Sometimes you got to take those points, especially when it's a close game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mama Carlisle's on the train. Patriots for the win, taking them outright there. So thanks, Mom. Love you. Appreciate you watching. Always any support, but always when you get your mom to support you, it's always great.
Yeah, it's always nice.
Yeah, you gotta take the fucking points, man. But in a game like that, I mean, because they were 0 for 5 on fourth down.
I don't know.
And
so I was working. I was very passively paying attention to the game, and then I saw like the last minute and a half or so, and got the storylines. Also, we'd be remiss to not mention Donald Parham and that scary injury that happened. Joe Buck thinking that he was shivering because it was cold.
Oh God! I immediately wanted to just reach to the TV and punch Joe Buck in the face. You guys have heard me say it several times.
Fuck Joe Buck.
I love Joe Buck calling a baseball game. Get him the fuck off of Thursday Night Football. I cannot eat.
Between his idiotic commentary about football and Troy Aikman fighting the concussions, it's not a great broadcasting group at all.
It's not. And Parham, we send our thoughts and prayers out to him. They did give an update later in the game that he was in stable condition. He was messed up, though. It was not good. He was not shivering. He was still locked up from that concussion.
I think they were saying that he was having small seizures or something like that was leading those shakes.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't want to say just a concussion, but it was a concussion. That's what it was ruled with when he went to the hospital. He's since been released. But yeah, it's never good when you see a guy drop like a sack of potatoes on the ground and then he's just locked in position with his arms.
Yeah, and then Fox fucking zooms in on his face like, oh, hey, look, this guy's unconscious. Like as soon as we saw his hands go up and then go like this, I knew exactly what he was out. Mm-hmm. He was locked up. That's that defensive position that your body just naturally goes into.
You see it with fighters and stuff like that too, where you see a guy gets knocked out and they kind of go into the same sort of position.
Yeah. Amber actually looked it up. There's some sort of response that your body goes into when there is that the brainstem injury. I don't remember what the name was, but that's exactly what we were
I think I've heard before, possibly on Rogan's podcast, where they were talking about this, that if your body doesn't do that, that is a worse sign that you are in a severe state where you could potentially die if your body doesn't do that, because it's like your nervous system is shut down where it's not trying to defend itself
responding
anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a very, very scary situation. Thoughts and prayers once again out to Parham. But yeah, it was not great. The Chiefs get a win that helps the Browns in the playoffs because we're going to be competing against the Chargers. We're going to need a game better than them because they beat us in the head-to-head. So, and this is another game I'm kind of pulling for the Patriots tonight because that helps the Browns playoff situation-wise. Colts 7-6, Browns in that same exact situation. So we'll see. I hate to say I'm rooting for the Patriots, but it helps the Browns.
All righty. You ready to move on to Sunday's games?
Yeah, we got another comment here from Joe Rockstar.
Oh, boy.
Figured Joe Buck would have been warm. He's a walking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
When he's calling a football game, I 100% agree. Give me Joe Buck in October during baseball. Other than that, get him off of my fucking TV.
Absolutely. All righty. So Sunday morning, we've got the Panthers and the Bills being played in Orchard Park, New York. Right now the line is Buffalo minus 12.5. That Cam Newton-led Panthers team. Yeah.
So this is a tough week for betting because there are so many massive fucking spreads. I got the Bills at minus 10.5, and I think that they can cover 10.5. What did you say the line was now?
Minus 12.5 according to ESPN, which ESPN gets their stuff from Caesars. So and
that line
over under is 44.
That line is continuing to move towards the Bills. The Bills, I think, are going to have no problem in this game. They're definitely going to want to bounce back from the tough loss. Guy throwing 3 fucking passes on you and you lose. And Cam Newton is. Well, we were very excited for Cam when he got back there. We thought it would kind of revitalize his career.
And I mean, his first game was pretty damn good.
Yeah, and then he is just completely fallen off. Cam, I think,
the OC got fired.
Yeah,
Brady's out there, possible head coach that we're looking at here. The Joe Brady from the Panthers.
I think he probably goes back to the college ranks.
He's already gotten some calls from NFL teams.
Really?
Yeah. I saw a report that there's been somewhere like 3 teams that have already expressed interest in him possibly taking a head coach job here in the NFL.
Whew. Well, that's a big jump going from a failed offensive coordinator to a head coach in the NFL. It won't be the first time we've seen that shit happen, but
yep. And I think there's some reason to like what Brady has to offer, but especially earlier on in the year, what he was doing with Darnold and things like that. But yeah, I'm not so sure. I don't feel confident in him being a head coach for my team if the Vikings were to pick him up. I know that he's a potential option, but I'm definitely not sold.
Yeah, me either. I'm not. It's very hard to go from college up to the NFL, especially when you're only there for, it was 2 years. Brady was there.
Yeah. But back to this game, Bills and Panthers. This is being played in New York, outdoors, 29 degrees. It's going to be nice, brisk air out there. Look, I got the Bills winning this one too. That 12.5, it's a little bit too rich for my blood.
That's a lot.
I'd be taking Bills on the money line here, but the spread's tough for me to take on this one just because, any given Sunday they could keep it being a closer game.
Right.
But yeah, I got the Bills winning this one outright. And I'm not willing to take any.
I got Bills outright for sure. I did take the Bills minus 10.5. 12.5 is a little much for me.
In the over-under of 44, I could see this game going over 44 points.
It's going to depend on the weather. I know it's going to be cold if there's going to be any fucking whipping wind like the last game we saw up in Buffalo.
It doesn't show anything right now of it being especially windy or anything like that. But, you never – you're getting that lake effect and everything. A lot of winds blowing off of Great Lakes up there, so we'll see.
All right. What's our next game, man?
Next game, we got the Cardinals and the Lions being played in Detroit. That is a Cardinals team without D-Hop for the rest of the regular season. I don't know that matters too much because they got so many other receiving options out there. Another big storyline, I guess, with that is that James Conner, who has been phenomenal since taking over the starting gig, he's dealing with a little bit of an injury. I'm not positive whether or not he's going to be playing.
Chase Edmonds looks like he is back this week for them, though.
Yep, he was designated to return off the IR originally. He could have played last week, but then they didn't bring him back. They allowed Conner to keep on playing. But Chase should be back for this game, and so they're going to kind of have that dual threat backfield again, assuming that Conner plays. Either way, they're playing the Lions. The Lions, obviously we know what they are. They're 1-11-1 team. A lot of ones in that record. And the Cardinals are going to be a, deep run playoff team.
Yeah.
Watching the Cardinals last week, that was a bit of a rough game for them.
A little bit.
I expected them to do better. But I heard from one person there at work, a Pat K, telling old Spicy Mike, he's like, I'll say this, that was not a Super Bowl winning quarterback performance. That Kyler wasn't inspiring him as a Super Bowl quarterback because that, you would expect Kyler to be making better choices, better plays there at the end of the game.
But we've seen this from Kyler in the past. It starts out the year really fucking hot and then kind of peters off towards the end. I hope that's not happening again, especially because I did take the Cardinals minus 12.5.
Yeah, and the line right now on the Caesars and ESPN is minus 13 in this game. Look, I absolutely pick the Cardinals to win. Again, This is – I could see them winning by more than 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, me too.
I would say I'm like 75% confident in that, but still, just when lines are that big, it's just too sweet for me to take. So I'm taking Cardinals outright in this game. But yeah, that line is just a little bit too thick for me.
Yeah. I'm going for the gusto. I got another full slate in. I had a really good fucking week of picking games last week. All money lines. So I'm going to try to go a little richer this time. I'm going to take the spreads. I am taking the Cardinals minus 12.5. The game they absolutely should win. The Lions are awful. And I know losing to the Lions was fucking tough. I got to watch that reaction live.
Trap game.
Yep. So
I felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah. All right. We got Cardinals for sure on the money line. I'm taking the spread.
Yep, absolutely. All right, next game, Jets and Dolphins being played in Miami. The line for this one is Miami minus 9.5, over under a 41. I absolutely have the Dolphins winning this game, and I have them winning by about a touchdown. The 9.5 is just too much for me.
I'm taking the fucking Dolphins and the cover. Zach Wilson fucking sucks. He's so bad. Like anybody who watches, there's nothing that inspires confidence about his play whatsoever. He looks like he is a lost little child out there on the field. He doesn't know what's happening. He is seeing ghosts. He's seeing the same ghost that fucking Darnold saw. He's not very good right now. Maybe he gets better. Maybe. I don't see it. He just makes bonehead plays. He's got that gunslinger mentality with no fucking talent around him. And it doesn't work. He needs to be more conservative. He's not. He's late. All the things that I have said have literally been shown on display damn near every fucking week. He's not getting better right now. And I don't know if he is going to get better. At least not this year.
No, this ain't the year. Look, like I said before, I think he's got talent. It's just tough to go there into New York as a Jet and become anything. It's real tough. It was going to be an uphill fight for him just because of his skill set and where he played college and everything like that. Not the best situation for him to bloom. But you never know. Obviously, quarterbacks can make a big jump in year 2. Maybe that happens. But right now, it ain't looking too hot for him. But back to this game in particular, Dolphins, they're an all right team playing a real bad team.
They're getting better. The Dolphins are not out of the playoff hunt.
No.
Based on what they've done over the last, 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And Tua's been looking pretty darn good. So, I mean, it's an easy one for me to sit here and pick the Dolphins. It's just the 9.5. Like I said, I can see them winning by a touchdown. I just don't see them being like that wide margin scoring team. If they're going to do it against someone, it's going to be the Jets, though.
Yeah, I got the cover. I don't think the Jets are good at all. The Dolphins are getting much better. I will take the Dolphins minus 9.5. I think they can win by 10.
All righty. Next game, we got Cowboys and Giants being played up in New Jersey. But rivalry game. Last time we saw the Cowboys play the Giants, they absolutely fucking throttled them. I fully expect that to happen again. Line right now is Dallas minus 10.5, over and under at 44.5. Now, Dak hasn't looked fantastic. The Cowboys have shown some hiccups as we've continued on here. Like, they kept on making a point of it in the broadcast of, Dak even saying, like, it doesn't feel like we're all in sync since him coming back from the injury, since that lower leg injury. They need to figure that shit out if they want to make a deep playoff run. They're a very good team for sure, and they've got a lot of talent out there. The big thing that people have been talking about is Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
That dude is fucking fire, man.
Yeah, he's in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. He's a lock for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. Cowboys have not looked great, though, and that worries me a little bit. I think the Cowboys will win this game. I do not have them covering. I took the Giants plus the 10.5 points.
This would be a game for Dallas to kind of get back on track a little bit. If they play the Giants like they did the first time, I could see them covering this 10.5. I'm not taking the line personally, but I could see them winning by 2 touchdowns pretty easily because, the Giants just aren't great. But back to Micah Parsons, we're seeing him do it all over the field on defense. It is a pretty incredible performance.
Middle linebacker, outside linebacker.
I think the casual football fan has very big reasons to be excited about him, watching him, because he's getting plenty of tackles. He's getting plenty of sacks and stuff like that. He's playing all over the field. But the things that he's doing that aren't making it on the stat sheet are pretty incredible too. He's getting tons of pressures. He is doing great in coverage. He's doing things all over the field that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet, that the casual fan might not be noticing when you're watching the game. He's doing a lot of really, really good things on that defense. So he's a super fun, exciting player to watch.
He affects the offense no matter where he's lined up on the field. On first and second down, he could be out in coverage, dropping back. He could, line up as a DN, but he's good in coverage as well. And then on third and fourth down, they're just letting this kid eat. He is on pace right now to break Javon Curse's rookie record for sacks at 14.5. Like, he is unbelievable. I I did not think that he was going to have this kind of impact. I knew he was going to be pretty good.
I mean, I did say early on, I believe in the preseason when I watched him play, I thought he'd be the defensive rookie of the year.
I was really hoping for Joke to be the defensive rookie of the year, but he's been banged up too much. And Micah Parsons has run away. He could not play for the rest of the season. He's going to win the fucking award for defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's just looking so damn phenomenal out there. He's a man among men right now on that defense. And defensive rookie of the year, I think, is a lock. And defensive player of the year, he's
right there.
He's right there.
It's him and Myles Garrett are the top two right now for the odds to win that award. And if Micah Parsons does win it, I'd have no problem with that. He would be the only the second rookie to ever win that award behind Lawrence Taylor, one of the greatest linebackers of all fucking time. So he is that goddamn good.
Yeah. But back to the game specifically versus the Giants, I do have the Cowboys winning, and I'm actually close on wanting to take this line. I think that they are going to win by 2 touchdowns. But I don't like taking that thick of a line, so I'm just going to say Cowboys outright on this one.
I got Cowboys, and I think the Giants can cover just because that Cowboys offense does not look great. I've got another comment here. All right, going back. Does Zach Wilson suck or does his supporting cast suck? The answer is yes.
Both.
Yeah. Yes. The Giants are terrible, or the Jets are terrible. They're not good. They have no weapons around him. And Zach Wilson has made that worse. He's not helped at all. So, yeah, the answer is yes. They both suck.
That team is just a dumpster fire. Look, there's a couple things that you're pretty used to seeing in the NFL, and that's around this time of year, Jets being eliminated, Lions being eliminated, and the Jaguars being eliminated. We've seen that this year. And part of that is, those Jets just are not a good team. They have the longest drought from the playoffs. I think we're over a decade now.
I think that's correct. The Browns did have that until last year, but yeah, they're
just not a good team. It is a pit. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to go play for the Jets. If you get drafted by the Jets, man, it sucks.
And especially because you're in a massive market where all eyes are on you. And if you do not perform, everybody's going to let you know. I'm letting them fucking know. National media is letting them know. They're fucking atrocious.
All righty. Ready to move on to the next game?
Yep.
All right. So we got the Titans and the Steelers playing at 11 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is favored -1 in this one, which is a little bit surprising to me.
Correct. So when I got this, I had the Titans favored at -1. That line has now shifted the other direction. Steelers -1. I still like the Titans in this game, and I like my bet, the -1, because that's a pick 'em in my mind. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not as bad as I expected them to be. Ben Roethlisberger has played better than I expected him to play, but he's still not very good. That Steelers defense has not been great, especially if TJ Watt is not on the field. Another guy who's up for Defensive Player of the Year, leads the league in sacks with 16.
Yeah, he got himself a groin injury last week versus the Vikings, carrying around that heavy dick because he's so fucking good.
Yeah,
but him not being on the field makes a big fucking impact.
It does. It absolutely does. If he's not out there, the Titans, I think, win this by a touchdown.
But I don't like this line at all. I think the Titans are going to win by probably close to that touchdown marker. Yeah. So watching the Steelers last week, they're another one of those teams like I've been down on the Seahawks all year after they played the Vikings and seeing how they played. I'm definitely down on the Steelers after watching them play my Vikings because we absolutely fucking throttled them until we decided to do Viking things and let them back in the game. I don't think that was the Steelers playing well. I think that was just piss poor play by my Vikings that allowed the Steelers to get back into the game. I think the Steelers are meh. Yeah. Najee Harris has been looking better. Obviously, he looked decent in that game versus the Vikings, but we let them back into that game. That game was close at the end because of the Vikings, not because of the Steelers.
Yeah, and the same thing with the Steelers playing against the Ravens. Najee Harris looked pretty good, and the Steelers have a lot of issues, and it's not just on the field. They have a lot of issues in that locker room. Chase Claypool is a fucking clown. We did not get to talk about this because we missed last week, but celebrating a first down when there's 37 seconds left in the fucking game and you have no timeouts and the clock is still running.
Saw that and I was yelling at him because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I was, as a Vikings fan, I'm like, yeah, just fuck around.
Yeah, fuck around for 20 more seconds,
But I was
please.
like, what the hell are you doing? And then to go after the game and blame it on another player. He didn't take the onus on it.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, there was another guy trying to take the ball away from me. It wasn't my fault that we were being slowed down.
That has nothing to do with you doing this motion in the middle of the goddamn field when the clock is running and you have no fucking timeouts.
Yeah, it was pretty shit move by Claypool.
Yeah.
It's those wide receivers there in Pittsburgh, whether it's AB and the stuff that he did back in the day, whether it's Juju doing his little TikTok dances or Claypool doing all this shit. Now, if it's your second year in the league, dude, and you're a good receiver, but you're not that great,
no,
you don't get to just run on your clout at this point.
And you're not good enough to cost your team a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
There are almost no players in the NFL that are good enough to get away with that. Maybe five can do something like that. And then they would, take the onus because they're fucking grown-ups, they're adults, they're professionals. They're not going to try to pass the buck on to somebody else saying, oh, it was this guy's fault that I fucking celebrated in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Now, they did get a big win against the Ravens, which helped the Browns. I was kind of excited for that.
I don't think the Ravens are as good as their record suggests.
I don't think so either. But
that's why the Steelers were able to go out there and win against
get a dub.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the Ravens almost lost to the Lions if it wasn't for that field goal. I think the Ravens are just not as good. And people have figured out how to game plan against them correctly now.
Yeah. And the Browns almost let them back in the game, which I was losing my fucking mind. I was already drunker than shit because we were drinking mimosas from sun up to sundown over this last weekend. I was stressing because there was a typical Browns move to let them back in, give up the onside kick with the potential for them to get in field goal range for the best kicker in history.
Onside kicks this last weekend.
Yeah.
I think they said it was 4, 5, something like that.
More so this year than any years past. They've been getting recovered. Yeah. Like, that is not a common thing. That's one of the toughest plays in football, and they've been
it's even tougher with the kicking rules now.
Yeah, because there's no head start.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, Titans for me in this game.
Titans,
easy win. If you want to take the Titan points or whatever, cool. But Titans outright on this one.
Titans outright. I took Titans -1. Titans by a touchdown, I think.
Yeah, I see them winning by a touchdown. I don't see the Steelers keeping up with them like that.
Yeah, I mean,
next game. I don't even really want to talk about this one. Fucking boring. Texans and Jags being played in Jacksonville. Right now, line is Jacksonville -5.
Yep.
Over under 39.5. And yeah, I'm taking the Jags in this game.
100%. Absolutely. This is the fucking game where
Darryl Bevel's the interim head coach there.
Yep.
They're gonna feel like, woo, we got the old finger popper out of the house.
Yep.
Those players are gonna want to show ownership that they made the right decision. They're gonna want to play out. Yeah, that's Jags for me in this game. Realistically, could it be a pick 'em? Could it be a toss up? Sure, because both these teams are not good.
Nope.
But the head coach change, I feel like, is enough in this game to boost that team.
Agreed. We talked about this before when the Raiders lost the new head coach over at Bishop Sycamore.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think that would be the same kind of boost. It wouldn't be. This is going to be a massive boost for this Jags team because he's finally out of the fucking building. They're happy. They're going to go into work and they're going to be excited to be there. I got the Jags and I have them covering the 5 points.
Yeah. I'd be willing to take that.
Yeah, the Jags here for sure for me. If it's only just because of the morale boost that's happening inside that building right now.
Yep. Otherwise, that sounds like a pretty fucking boring.
Oh, it's going to be a goddamn dumpster fire.
Yeah. All right. Next game, we got an afternoon game. We're starting off with our afternoon games here. We got the Bengals and the Broncos being played in Denver. Line is Denver -3, over and under 44. And something that we didn't really get to talk about because we didn't have the show was Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah. So, condolences to Demaryius Thomas's family. Great wide receiver for the Broncos. Lost his life. And he was a special guy, man. Like, when you hear people like Peyton talk about DT, they have nothing but good things to say. His smile was infectious, and he was a damn good receiver. I mean, he
5-time Pro Bowler, I believe.
Yeah, he won Tim Tebow a playoff game. he was a special receiver. He caught Peyton Manning's record-breaking touchdown. He did a lot of amazing things in his career, and the world lost, somebody who was a really special kind of person and an athlete when he was still in the game. I don't understand this line though. Now maybe the Broncos are still, riding a let's do this for DT. But I don't know how the Broncos are favored in this game.
Yeah, me either. I guess home field advantage plays a little bit into this, but the Bengals are a damn good team. Burrow, Mixon, all those receiving options that they have, that offense is going to be able to put up a good amount of points against Denver, even though Denver's got, an all right defense. I don't know why the line is Denver -3 on this one, really. It was surprising to me. I fully expect to see the Bengals -3.
Yeah.
So it's the Bengals for me in this one. Mixon's been having himself a great year. Burrow's looking good. That Bengals team absolutely should be winning this game.
Yeah, I agree. The Bengals should win this game without a doubt in my mind. The Broncos, if Teddy turns the ball over, have not won a game. They have to win the turnover margin, and Teddy, if the turnover margin is even at 0-0, they have a chance. If Teddy turns the ball over one time, they've lost every single game. Flat out, if Teddy turns it over. So I got the Bengals, and I don't understand the line here.
Yeah, same.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for the Broncos. Kick the Bengals down a little bit farther for the Browns, but I think the Bengals win this game.
All righty. Next game, Falcons and 49ers being played in Santa Clara. Line is San Francisco -9 and an over-under of 46.5.
Yeah, so 49ers are not a bad team. Falcons are a little bit better than I thought. I guess they are still technically in the hunt for the playoffs. I have the 49ers winning this game, but I think the Falcons can cover. I got the Falcons at +9.5. I think this is a closer game than what the odds makers are saying it is. The 49ers need to really figure out their run game. Deebo Samuel is amazing, but he can't do everything for that team.
But Kittle can, apparently.
Kittle's pretty goddamn good.
He's been fucking balling out.
Yeah. Well, we had a commenter not too long ago say that Kittle was, not having a great year. Since Kittle's been back and has been healthy, he's been George Kittle. He's been a fucking stud.
Yeah.
Exactly what I expected.
I mean, it's between him and Kelsey for best tight end in the league, especially since he's been back. And I'm almost leaning towards Kittle being better because he's
I like the blocking
touchdown games. Yeah, he's been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That 49ers, I think, win this game, but I'd give Falcons the points. I mean, that's I think that they can play them close. But yeah,
especially if they get Cordell Patterson
if he's going, yeah.
I got 49ers on the win. I got the Falcons on the cover for sure, though. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty goddamn confident in that one.
All righty. Next, we got the Packers and the Ravens being played in Baltimore. The line is Green Bay -6.5, over and under 43.5. It sounds like Lamar is going to play this one. Lamar got injured last week.
Playing the Browns, yep.
And I think an injured Lamar versus the Packers. Yeah, Packers are probably going to win this one.
Yeah, I got Packers, and I have them covering. I had them at 5.5. I don't know about the 6.5. I mean, I think they can still probably win by a touchdown. The Packers defense is really fucking good. They're playing really goddamn good right now, and people have started to figure out Lamar and that Ravens offense. You just got to fucking blitz them. They don't have receivers who are necessarily going to win one-on-one matchups. The Packers secondary has played very good. You zero blitz Lamar, and all you got to do is cover up Mark Andrews, and that's the recipe to beat him. Mm-hmm. Now, if Lamar is 100% healthy, maybe he can break the pocket and do some things. But if Lamar's banged up with that ankle, he's not going to be as mobile. I don't see the Ravens.
It's cold out there. When you have injuries like that, you get a little stiffer and stuff. Yeah, that's I'm taking the Packers in this one. I could see them winning by a touchdown. So right now the Caesars line on here is -6.5. I could see them covering that.
Yeah, me too. I got the Packers and the cover there.
Yeah. All right. Then we have our Sunday night games, Saints and Bucks. So this should be a fun one. Not. Tampa Bay -11.5 and over under of 45. Tampa Bay should slaughter them. Yep. I mean, the line is, again, it's a little bit too sweet for me, but I got Tampa Bay winning this one. I'm not seeing a whole lot of spark from the Saints.
No, me neither. The Bucks are going to win this game. I think the Saints can cover. I got it at +11. If they can get a nice little combo going with Taysom and Kamara again, I think they can slow the game down a little bit and keep it within 10 points. I have no illusions that the Saints are going to win this game. The Saints always find a way to kind of surprise the fucking Bucks.
Yeah,
for some reason.
They do play them well.
Yeah, so that's why I'm taking the Saints to cover. This is going to be right around that margin, though, the 10 to 14 point range. I think the Bucks win. Saints on the cover. We need to see Taysom be able to throw the ball a little bit better, but now he's got that fucking hammer finger too, and that does not help. They're gonna have to run the ball effectively with Kamara and Taysom doing probably some read option type stuff, and maybe they can slow this game down and keep it close-ish.
Yeah,
because 10 points really isn't fucking close.
Yeah, and I got the Bucks. I do think that the Saints can cover, but again, it's a little too sweet for me. I'm just gonna say outright Bucks on this one. All right, and then we'll just pretend that Monday isn't happening right now and skip straight to Tuesday.
Hey, we got
games moved.
TNF twice this week. We got Tuesday night football and Thursday night football.
Yep.
We got so much.
It's fun. There's so much football.
We have the week. What we have 6 of the next 7 days. There's fucking NFL football on. The only day we're missing is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously, there are some circumstances on why these games are being played on Tuesday, and I think that will probably go into some of our picks a little bit. But what's our first Tuesday game that you want to talk about? Because they're both
at 5 p.m.
at the same fucking time.
Yeah, which kind of sucks as a fan. I like to have those split up so I can watch them.
Yep,
me
too.
But first game we'll go over is Seahawks and the Rams being played in LA, and the line is Rams -6, and I've got the Rams winning and Rams covering because the Seahawks. I'm off of the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm off the Seahawks as well. When I got this game, it was Rams -4. So I feel very good about that.
Yeah.
The Seahawks aren't great. They can't run the ball. The Rams defense is really fucking good. Aaron Donald, another guy in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. If he wins it, it'd be his record 4th. Jalen Ramsey is a stud. I think he's gonna lock up probably with DK again. DK did get the best of him last time. He was able to do a little bit. Jalen's not letting that fucking happen again. The Rams are starting to catch stride. They got a big win last week that they needed to kind of right the ship.
When they were kind of counted out because of all the COVID stuff and whatnot going against the Cardinals, and they still showed up and played damn well.
Yeah, they played pretty well. And then this game is on a Tuesday because of COVID again. It got bumped. Was it the Rams or the Seahawks who were having the issue? I think it was the Rams again, right? They were having the issues with the amount of people that they had on COVID. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. The Seahawks are not great. I think this is Russell's last year up in Seattle. And his farewell tour is not going the way he had hoped. The Rams are getting better. OBJ is fitting in nicely with that offense. It did not look great that first game. He very clearly ran the wrong route or gave up on a route. He's starting to get a rhythm there. That helps. Van Jefferson is a great number 3 to have if OBJ is your 2.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Cooper Kupp is just having, a prolific year.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal job at wide receiver. He's never going to get the credit that you're expecting him to get with the sort of stats that he's putting up and the way that he is playing for his team. He might be the MVP of their offense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a damn good receiver. He's someone that you absolutely want on your team. It sucks seeing Woods go down because they were a great tandem out there.
Yeah.
They complement each other really well. But end of the day, Rams for me. And I think I got the Rams covering this -6. Your line is fucking
4.
awesome.
Yeah, I got them at -4. I'm very fucking
I
pumped
feel
about that.
very good about that one.
Yeah, so I think Tyler Higbee is out of this game or he was out. He was put on COVID, but with this game being pushed to Tuesday, there's a chance to get some of these guys back.
Yeah.
So the NFL did what I thought they should do, and what a lot of NFL players think they shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of upset Raiders players concerning your game because
playoff implications.
There's some guys from your team that are on like NFLPA board or whatever.
The president of the NFLPA is JC Treader, our starting center.
Yeah. So they think that there might have been some shit going on there, but I'm not really worried about getting into the conspiracy theories of that.
Well, and I don't know why they're mad. They're playing this game. If the game was forfeited, like the rules at the beginning of the year had said, nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
It's not just the team that forfeits. Nobody gets paid. So you need to fucking play this game. I think the Raiders would have preferred playing a 38-man roster of the fucking Cleveland Browns. But the NFL did the right thing in, moving the games, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm a little biased because it helped my Browns. But we still don't know if any of those what players, if any, are going to make it back. But there are new testing rules in the NFL now for COVID. Asymptomatic players can have one negative test, or they take some other fancy test that says your transmission levels or your contagion levels are so high, and so you're good to go. Because obviously the NFL has never had COVID passed on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to our next game.
All right. Yeah.
Another 5:00 game on Tuesday being played in Philly. It is Washington football team versus the Philadelphia Shithawks. The line, according to Caesars/ESPN right now, is Philly -8 with an over and under of 43. Now, this one is interesting because Washington has some quarterback issues.
Yes, they do.
I don't think that they're going to have their quarterbacks ready in time for this game, even with it being pushed back.
Yeah.
Heineke's down. Their backup, who I can't remember who it is.
Gilbert.
I think they're signing Gilbert.
Oh, they're signing
like the
Gilbert.
day it was like there's Heineke and their backup. I think both went down with COVID, and so they were signing Garrett Gilbert like same day to be able to play this game.
Okay, so I know Gilbert. He was with the Browns for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He was a prolific guy in college and was one of the highest recruited guys in high school. And
I believe he was
played with Dallas for a little bit.
Or Texans, maybe?
No, Dallas and then Cleveland.
Okay.
He was with Cleveland last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
been a bit of a journeyman.
Oh yeah, but
regardless,
once again, a perfectly acceptable fucking NFL career.
Mm-hmm. Normally, if this was Heineke playing and it wasn't a COVID situation, I actually would be taking Washington in this one.
Yeah, so I got this line, and it was too rich for me to not take Washington. I got Washington plus 13.
Okay.
So
that's a lot.
Yeah, it was too many points to fucking lay. Now, the Eagles are starting to figure out who they are. They are a running team. They run the ball very well. They're starting to get their backs involved. And then, obviously, Jalen Hurts is Lamar Jackson light. He can run the ball very effectively.
But I'll say this, Gardner, when he played, looked damn good.
Yeah, Gardner's got to be a starter somewhere next year.
I really hope so, man. I love, he's so fucking fun to watch just as a person, let alone football.
Gardner for the troops.
Yeah.
That fucking woman.
Did you see his little interaction with his dad after the game?
I did. So that's where you get the Gardner for the lady screaming in the background the entire goddamn time, ruining the fucking moment.
Yeah, he's just so hyped for a backup quarterback or a guy, on this team. He's the backup quarterback.
He is.
To be so fucking hyped to go out there and just get a win.
Well, I think he just made himself a bunch of fucking money in that game. Like, he's gonna go somewhere and at least have the opportunity to compete for a starting position, rather than being sent to the fucking wolves because Trevor Lawrence is there, going to a place with an established starter where they want to see what Jalen Hurts has.
I want to bang the table for the Vikings to fucking blow the ship up, send Kirk Cousins wherever,
Get whatever you can for
and
him.
get Gardner.
Yeah.
I would love to have Gardner. Even if he's just in there as a stopgap or something like that, I'd love to have Gardner on my team.
Yeah, Gardner is not
I'd get a fucking
he's not a
jersey quick as
top-level
fuck.
guy. He's a mid to bottom tier starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
Could be a career backup, but he's exciting as fuck to watch. I love Gardner, man.
I'd get me a Gardner jersey. I'd be rocking that mustache, possibly a fucking mullet.
I mean, that mullet is clutch.
Love that dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But back to the game, it's Hurts that's going to be playing in this one,
It
and
is.
with Washington, the guys that they're going to be trotting out there, I don't feel good about Washington winning this game. Philly -8. I'm not taking that line for Philly. I would still consider the +8 for Washington, but what you were talking about earlier,
I got
that line that you got,
+13 for Washington.
yeah, that's one of those where it's like, okay, I'm willing to take the plus points for Washington at that point.
Yeah.
I got the Eagles winning this game, being at home and everything, and with how much COVID is affecting the Washington football team, it's going to be a tough one for them. They're really going to be having to rely on Gibson and that running attack if they're going out there with quarterbacks who haven't been playing for the team.
Yeah.
So Eagles for me on this one, and because the line is Philly -8, I'm not going to take that. I would be taking Washington +8, but I need to see more of how this COVID situation is going to play out if they're going to have players available.
Right.
But yeah, Eagles for me.
Yeah, I got Eagles on the money line, and for me, I took Washington +13. It was too many points to give away. So.
All righty. And then we'll go back in time a little bit because both of our teams are playing on Monday now.
Yeah, we got a little double Monday night special.
Mm-hmm.
We got one game at 3 o'clock and one game at 6:15. Once again, that's out here Mountain Standard Time. If you're out on the East Coast, you get it at 5 and then 8:15. Your typical time for 8:15, and then you get an early game, so you get a little bit of football. You don't necessarily have to stay up until fucking midnight to finish a game on Monday night.
Yep. So starting off Monday night, you've got Cleveland Browns, the Raiders. Being played in Cleveland. Right now, the line is showing Cleveland -1 with an over and under of 41, and that's with them trotting out fucking half a team.
Yeah, so half a team right now. Mm-hmm. So this game got moved from Saturday. So we were on a Sunday. We got flexed to Saturday because it's a potential playoff playoff seeding is very much in play here. Everybody on the fucking, I think we lost 22 starters or 22 players, 11 starters on the COVID list. Game gets bumped to Monday, much to the chagrin of Raiders fans and players. And this line has obviously moved a shit ton. It was Browns plus, I want to say 1.5 when it started. Then it moved to Browns -1.5, moved to Browns +3.5 with all the news of the COVID coming out. And now it's back to Browns -1, you said?
Yes.
So this game is going to be very tough to watch, and it's going to be very hard to call because we don't know who's coming back. The Browns are at 99% vaccination rate. Almost all players that were put into the protocol are asymptomatic. Very few guys have had any symptoms. Jadeveon Clowney is one of those guys who was sick and just got put on the COVID list, I want to say yesterday. So we're probably not going to have Jadeveon. Myles Garrett, good to go. Nick Chubb, good to go. They have had no inkling of them being anywhere tied up in this COVID.
What about the quarterback situation and the offensive line?
So our offensive line, asymptomatic players, we could get them back based on their tests. The quarterback situation, Baker on COVID list, also asymptomatic. Then we get to Case Keenum on the COVID list, also asymptomatic. We could see those guys back. I don't know if that's going to happen.
And Nick Mullins, I believe, is
Nick Mullins is our third stringer. He is right now scheduled to start this game.
And I honestly don't have a problem with Mullins playing. He's looked okay in his stints in San Fran.
Yeah, he had a couple really good looks over in San Fran, and having him go out there and play this game makes me less worried than I was before. We also signed Kyle Lauletta this week to be our backup, and then we have some tight end I've never heard of as our emergency quarterback, because who knows what's going to happen with COVID for the rest of the way. But the new testing rules and things that are coming out could prevent any more players from popping, positive, because I think they're going to stop testing fucking asymptomatic people who have the vaccine. They're just going to stop testing them altogether. That way, this doesn't happen. The NFL was very staunch on their stance that no games are going to be moved or rescheduled early in the year. However, one of the pieces in that document that talked about this said if there was an outbreak amongst unvaccinated players, you're fucked. You just have to deal with what you got. We're 99% vaccinated, so all these guys have the vaccine. So this is a little bit up in the air. This wasn't really discussed in that document saying, okay, what happens when it's vaccinated players? I think there was still the kind of assumption at the time that the vaccine would quell a lot of these things from happening, even though we now know that it doesn't matter vaccinated, unvaccinated, you're going to test positive, right? When this game came out, I was like, I had the Browns before all the COVID stuff came out. When all the COVID stuff came out, I was off the Browns. I had the Raiders. Now that the game has moved, I'm back on the Browns. And I really like the Browns because my bet, I got the Browns plus 3.5. Whereas now they are once again the favorites.
Yep.
The Raiders have struggled mightily recently. The Browns have won games, but they haven't been looking good doing it. This is going to be an ugly game. The Browns are pretty good at winning ugly games right now. And if this fucking guy is healthy, I like our chances. Now, we're not going to have Kareem Hunt, but Dearness Johnson is a damn good number 2 back to have. He's the best number 3 back in the league. So I think if we get a couple of receiving options back, we have a chance because we're down Jarvis. We're down Austin Hooper.
DPJ should be playing, right?
I think DPJ is going to play. He was a little banged up, but he should be coming back. Now, our cornerback situation is tough. We do not have Greg Newsome. I think we'll see Greedy Williams out there.
Can you cover Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah, I know. And because Darren Waller was not going to play in this game. Now this game moved to Monday. Do they get Darren Waller back?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. If they do and Joke is playing, I'm okay with that matchup. So I'm on the Browns. I have the Browns. I got them at plus 3.5. So I'd really like that.
I'm taking the Browns in this one, and I'd actually take the line Browns -1 on this one. Even if the team is limited and who they tried out there, I kind of like their guys better than who the Raiders have to offer. Me
too, because Derek Carr has really dropped off from a very hot start to the season. They don't run the ball effectively. So we just, if Waller's not out there, we just got to cover Hunter Renfrow. Give me Denzel Ward versus Hunter Renfrow any goddamn day of the week. So I'm on the Browns.
Alrighty, samey. Next game, my Vikings versus the Bears, an NFC North grunge match. This game's being played in Chicago.
It is.
Minnesota -6 is your line, over under 44. So lost to Detroit.
Yeah.
I said it was going to be a trap game. All right. I just felt it in my loins. Yeah. All right. Then we come out last week and we look really, really damn good against the Steelers for a half of football.
Yeah.
And then we let them back in. All right. Which is a bummer because I did not like having that sort of anxiety towards the end of the game.
Right.
To let them back in.
Trust me, I understand watching that fucking Browns-Ravens game this last week.
It was difficult. Vikings playing the Bears here. The Vikings are better than the Bears. We are trotting out a much better team. I feel like we are definitely going to win this game. However, I'll caveat that by saying when we play the Bears, we do not play good in Soldier Field for whatever reason. When the Bears have had really, really bad teams, much like this year, and we've had really good teams, we still play them pretty close. We've actually lost to them in Soldier Field versus backup quarterbacks. Trubisky goes out, and they're playing.
I don't even know who the fuck that
Johnny
was.
Fucknuts. Yeah. I don't remember who. And we lose. Like, we play the Bears bad at Soldier Field for whatever reason. So the line right now is Minnesota -6, and I think that if this is being played in Minnesota, that makes sense. In Soldier Field, I've got the line closer to 2.5 for the Vikings. because we play teams close.
Yeah.
Regardless of who we're playing, we play them close. Unless you're the Seahawks, then we blow you out. I think the Vikings win this game. I think that they're a better team than the Bears. I think that the whole Nagy situation there is causing them to implode even further. I don't think Justin Fields is starting this game.
I don't think so either.
It scares me a little bit more if Big Dick Foles were to get out there. But I do see the Vikings winning this one. I see it being closer. I would not take the line of Vikings -6. I would actually take the Bears plus points there if you're going for the line. But I do have us winning this game. Dalvin Cook coming out last week despite the injury, not expecting to see him for a couple weeks and then playing through that stuff.
So fucking good.
He not only did he look good, but like you could see his energy before the game and everything. He was fired up more than I've seen him in a while. Like he was. You wouldn't have known that he was injured. You would have thought that he was playing for a contract type thing, the way that he was balling out and his energy.
He almost averaged 10 yards a carry.
Yeah, I loved what I saw from Dalvin that game. And obviously getting Jefferson more involved. Thielen, I think.
Is he back?
Potentially. I don't think he will play.
Okay.
But it's potential that he could be out there. But we still got guys like KJ Osborne and obviously Conklin's been looking real good. Like I said, it's the other factor here is a primetime game. And there's this thought of Kirk being bad in primetime games.
I think that's starting to go away a little bit.
He's playing better in primetime games and he's playing better in big situations. The issue with the team definitely has been fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Second half of the game, more so fourth quarter. And it is games where there's 2-minute drives. We have had massive letdowns, be it from defense or offense.
Yeah.
So if we're able to be ahead by 2 touchdowns going into the fourth and maintain that, we're feeling better. But if it's a close game where we're talking 6 points or less, I'm getting worried.
Yeah.
I'm getting worried. Because for whatever reason, we are not able to hold out in that fourth quarter. Now, look, Zimmer knows that his job is on the line. He knows what's fucking going on right now. It's still not written in stone that he's going to be gone after this year. And these last couple games are really going to make a big difference whether or not he's with the team next year. I think the players know that. The players likes him.
Yeah.
The players likes him. They don't want to let him down. They know that we are on the cusp of the playoffs right now still at 6 and 7.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys are 6 and 7, but you guys are still on the hunt because the NFC is not great.
Yeah, the NFC has a lot of teams that are right there around that 6-7 mark.
Yep.
So a win here or there moves you from 8th up to like 5th. You're right there in the hunt if you're able to get these wins. The Vikings actually have a decent schedule for the rest of the year. I mean, we do play the Packers. I think we do have one other tough game that we're going to be playing out of this bunch, but because we're going to play the Bears again. You've got 2 games with the Bears here in the next 4 weeks or whatever.
That sets up nicely for you guys. That's a big thing for you guys right now. You got to have a little easier time getting in right now because I don't understand. That drives me fucking crazy because we see you guys come out and are just beating the absolute dog piss
that
out
first
of the
half.
fucking
That first half
Steelers.
is what the Vikings can do week in and week out, but we can't put it together for a full game.
Why the fuck are you? And it looks like I don't know if it's the play calling. You guys take your foot off the gas, and you do it on both sides. Like very rarely will you see Mike Zimmer get into a shell defense. Normally he's bringing some sort of blitz. He's doing something up front to cause some pressure. You're getting some, different looks. You're getting exotic looks. And when you guys fall into that just fucking shell cover 2, cover 3 defense where you're not playing that press man, teams are marching right down the fucking field on you. We've seen it a couple times this year. And the play calling was really good in that first half. Didn't have to do much. You could just run it right down their throat. But there was just it didn't seem like there was any excitement in the passing game that you guys could have done so many things off of the play action and it just didn't happen. And I don't understand it. You guys are better than your record suggests. I still have you guys on the win here, and I have you covering. Now, if the line right now is 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I got it, I got it at 5.5. I think you guys win by 6 points.
I hope so.
I think you win by 6.
The Bears have won the last 5 out of our 6 meetings.
Ooh.
Which is, look, these NFC North matchups,
Always
they get
tough.
played tight.
Always tough.
And,
I mean, the Bears played the fucking Packers tight for a half.
Mm-hmm.
Scared the shit out of me because I was rolling on my fucking bets. I would hit. I picked every game right last week except for the last game. And thankfully, I cashed that bet out before the Monday night game and took my just under $1,000. But this
I would like to say the Vikings are going to finish out the season 2-2.
Yeah.
Because I just double checked. We have the Packers and we have the Rams.
Yeah, that's tough. So you got Bears twice.
Bears, Packers, Rams, Bears to finish off the year.
Okay.
All right.
The Rams you may be able to get. You're not getting the Packers. The Packers are the best team in the NFC.
I mean, we did beat them once already. But we
beat them
we
once
played that at home.
already, yeah.
We played that at home, and we're playing in Lambeau in December.
Aaron doesn't lose those games.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Now, I'll be fucking spraying sticky hot white goo all over the place if we beat them in Lambeau.
Yeah, as you should.
But look, I think 2-2 is possibly our best bet. That would put us at 8-9.
That might get you in the NFC.
Losing record could get us in the playoffs
NFC.
in the NFC. Look, this is I'm not going to say it's a trap game. I think that we do win this one. But it wouldn't surprise me if we lose. It's just the way that we play the Bears in Soldier Field for whatever reason. It's tough. But
I like you guys on the win this week, and I like you guys on the cover. I've actually been pretty good about calling these Vikings games. The only game I think I've missed was the Lions game because I thought you guys would smack the fuck out of them.
Yeah,
actually,
we're it's just so fucking tough. We're a good team. We just cannot put 4 quarters together. We can barely put 2 together.
If you do put 4 quarters together, you guys I think will walk all over the Bears. But we'll see. Man, I'm going with you. I'm riding with the Vikings win and the cover. I got it at 5.5. Line is now 6 on Caesars. So
yep.
We had one more comment here while we were going. And this is once again from Mama Carlisle. I have PTSD from watching the Browns play football. This week will be no exception in my opinion. And yeah, me too, Mom. That's the life of a Browns fan. You're constantly being built up, let down, built up, let down. Sometimes they come through. Most times they have not in the past. Fucking Monday. I'm gonna try to duck out of work a little early, maybe. And the game starts at 3. That I'm gonna be sitting there with my phone on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be tough. This whole week is very interesting. There's a lot of movement, fucking massive lines. It's a weird week in the NFL.
Interesting week for football in the NFL. Now, are you going to be going out of town or doing anything like that over this holiday season?
We are not. We are going to be in town. Now, obviously, we typically do these shows on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Next Saturday is Christmas Day, though.
Yep.
So I don't know if we're going to – I don't know if
That's what I was going to – we haven't really talked about this, but, we're live. We might as well talk about it with anyone that might be watching. Next 2 weeks, I have college off. Next 2 weeks, I have half days every day.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm a little bit more free.
And you're working days as well, right? Because we have no students, so we don't got to worry about those shitheads. Everybody's working days.
So we might be able to get, some more afternoon episodes. We might even be able to have an episode going on during a game or something like that.
Oh, I would totally do a watch-along game. Absolutely. Yeah. So we can for sure.
We got some potential options coming up here over the next 2 weeks. Obviously, we're going to be working around the holidays and everything, but we got some options to
but we could do
get some content.
We could go back to a 2-episode week. Something that we had talked about for the longest time. These episodes run kind of long because we're covering a whole week's worth of stuff in one episode. We could do a Tuesday, Friday this week because we don't necessarily want to do a Saturday. Everybody's gonna be enjoying their Christmas morning. My wife will probably try to fucking kill me if I say, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'm doing a podcast on Christmas morning."
Yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah. but we could get a couple in this week. We could get a couple in next week, and kind of get geared up for the playoff push here in the NFL. So
something to keep a watch out for. Keep on our socials, everybody. We'll let you know ahead of time what our plans are once we get these schedule things all figured out.
Let's see here. What do we have next week? So we got Thursday. We do got some more Saturday games, but we're not going to do Saturday. No Friday. So if we do,
the Vikings play the Rams first and then the Packers. Excuse me.
Rams, then the Packers.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this upcoming week, obviously we have games on Tuesday. We got the Seahawks Rams. I'm not interested in that fucking game. Washington Eagles. That would be a fun watch along. We can get a little loosey goosey, talk shit about the shit Hawks, and I'm sure there will be some calls in from RC Robert Goblin. That would be fun. But yeah, we should definitely try to get a couple episodes in. Maybe do 2 a week for the next couple of weeks. If only one, I do like the little watch along idea. I'm gonna have to get a TV set up in here, but that's totally doable. I got so many fucking TVs in this house. So yeah, very excited for the next couple of weeks, and especially since we're gonna be on the same shift. You're on half days, even that will be a lot of content coming out.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think we can figure something out. All right, man. Do we want to do
the parlay?
Lineman Lounge parlay?
So we have not fucking hit one of these yet.
No.
At some point, we've got to hit one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in this week, this wild week, does not play well for us. But I feel like we should do it anyways. With some massive lines out there, there's times where we could take points that we think the spread's just way too big on, and potentially make some money for ourselves and the watchers of the show. So,
now I'm not going to be taking lines.
You're taking the money line.
I'm just taking some money lines.
Money line, and not taking those spreads.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I want to take some low hanging fruit
let's make some money
for the fans. Just package up 4 games, 2 apiece.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. You go first since you might be taking some more lines, some points here.
So I'm gonna go with a low hanging fruit just because I know we need a win.
Mm-hmm.
Bills over the Panthers on the money line.
Absolutely.
That's a minus 650, so it's not going to pay out a lot on when we put this parlay together, but I definitely like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, you got another one for me?
I do. That's close to even money. So I'm not going to do a spread. I'm going to go with another money line because they're technically the underdog here. Titans over the Steelers at minus 102.
All right, makes sense to me. I'm going to go with money line Cardinals over the Lions.
All right.
That seems like a pretty easy low-hanging fruit one right there, right? And then give me the Bengals.
Bengals on the money line?
Bengals on the money line.
All right, another technical underdog there, but should help with the odds. There we go. That pays a little decent little amount. So that 4-leg parlay, if you're on FanDuel, that's going to be plus 516. $10 will win you $51.70. So total return back would be $61.70. And I just locked that bet in on the FanDuel.
And I don't got my phone, so I can't tell you what it would give you on Caesars, but it's going to be something close.
Well, you know what? I also have Caesars. I won't place the bet because I'm only going to do it in one spot. But we want to hit both books and give you guys, because we actually just had the Vanilla Gorilla himself sign up for Caesars. There's a promo on Caesars going on right now that he wanted to get it on. If you bet $100 cumulative money on the NBA, you will get a $150 gift card to the NBA shop for a jersey or whatever. So he wanted to get in on that. He's been betting a lot on Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. So let's see what Caesar's got for us. Football. All right, we said the Cardinals on the money line. Ooh, that's minus 700 over on Caesars.
Bills.
Got the Bills on the money line, minus 650.
Then you took the Titans.
I did take the Titans. Where are they? Here we go. Titans plus 105 on the money line.
And Bengals.
And the Bengals plus 140. That gives you plus 549 odds. So 10 will pay 54.90. Total payout is 64.90 when you get your $10 back if it hits.
So a little bit better on Caesars.
A little bit better on Caesars for that.
All righty. Well, there you go. That's our Lineman Lounge parlay.
There we go. All right, man. So we got our Lineman Lounge parlay. We hit fucking UFC, boxing, NBA, hockey. We talked college football, golf, fucking NFL. I think we hit basically every major sport in the United States because I'm not counting soccer. So
baseball's not going on right
now. Baseball's not going. I mean, nothing in baseball is going on right now. They're still locked out.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they come back. I love baseball. If they fucking strike and they don't play, I'm going to be furious. My wife will be furious as well. I think baseball is probably her favorite sport to watch. Loves watching the Indians play. Starting to get herself more into football.
Guardians.
Oh, yeah, Guardians. God damn it. I'm going to fuck that up for a while.
Yep.
All right. You got anything else, man?
No, dude. I guess I got to get a little bit of rest in and get prepared for tonight because we're going to get it on tonight. A little partying. We are going to get a little party on tonight. We're going to make a run up to Tucson as soon as we're done here. Yeah, we got to get some shit from Tucson. We got to get another white elephant gift. We got to get some EGs. So we're going to have EGs, fucking half gallon of vodka, break out the blender, do some interesting drinks. We got to get some other shit ready to go. Then I'm going to come back and help clean up the house and get all that shit going. It's been a busy day. I mean, you guys, by the way, I did not get a new tattoo. This one will be gone before work. I promise. I will make sure I get rid of the neck tattoo. Our goddamn elf decided she was going to give everybody in the house tattoos. Obviously the elf is a very cool thing for the kids. It's very nice that Santa could send his helpers to watch your children. And it's not at all annoying or a pain in the butt. The kids love it. So anybody out there doing the elf on the shelf, you can check out, the page. I think my wife is going to post some stuff on there. She likes doing all that stuff. She's very Christmassy. I'm more of a Grinch type. I'm a Scrooge. But I got some new ink. And it's cute.
Yeah. So it's cute. Everybody out there, we will see you guys again before Christmas. If you don't tune in, if you're going out of town, we want to wish you guys all Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Is Hanukkah still going on, or is that shit over now?
Man, I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, whatever holiday you celebrate, guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We cannot wait to get back on with you guys. This is the Lineman Lounge. We're the thickest podcast in sports, and man, I love being on the mic. It makes me so happy. I missed last week. I didn't want to do
that jolly spirit.
I don't. This is the jolliest bunch of assholes. What the fuck does this say?
The side of the
nut house. One of the few Christmas movies I can stand to watch. Christmas Vacation. That and Die Hard.
Yep, shitter's full.
Yeah, shitter is full. It's about to be in a second. All right, guys. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. We love you. Thank you for your support. Check us out on social. We got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. No TikTok. They can eat my asshole for banning the account. I have started another one. I have not posted a goddamn thing on there, though. So thank you very much. We will see you guys soon. This is the Lineman Lounge. See you.